Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Blast Off with Light. And I figured now was as good a time as any to start recording, because right over there is a rocket creeper on top of a rocket creeper on top of a regular creeper. It's hard to see from this angle, but it's a little too dangerous to get it from much of any other angle, so let's head over here and see if we can see it. And there we are. Well, that's a little crazy right there. Yeah. So don't want to get too close to that, but let's shoot him. Nice. And they just fall to pieces. And I'm out of arrows. Well, that's unfortunate. Do I have any in my bag? No, might actually. Ah, there we go. We will need to stop by the skeleton farm at some point, but that point is not right now. We have more interesting things to do. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. So, as you can see, my smeltery is full. The blaze farm works like a charm, and it's actually a surprisingly good iron farm. Because it spawns so many blazes, and so many of them are infernal, you come in here, and you get tons and tons of armor, which you melt down for what it's made of. And, well, plenty iron armor leads to plenty of iron metal. So, between this episode and next, I will drain quite a bit of the iron, and make some more of these seared bricks, so we can improve the size of the smeltery, and finally get ourselves a casting basin. It's kind of weird not having one. I might need to reorganize this thing a little bit to make that work, but yeah. Over here, we've got my Pneumaticraft seed farm. Right now, I'm not necessarily having them spread on their own. I'm just stopping over, seeing when they're fully grown, and breaking them. Yeah, these lightning plants in particular, I don't necessarily want them to do their thing, because what they do is they bring down lightning, and when lightning strikes grass, it has a chance of making one of these plants. I think everybody else is good to go. Okay, all set. Over here, I've got an ender lily. It still hasn't finished growing yet. These things are slow. Hello, cactus. I believe that's... Oh, I tore down the eyesore. That's right. That was the big change that's happened. I took that thing down. It never really served its original purpose, and it was just a multicolored monstrosity. I was unlikely to ever really turn it into something special. Let's put that there. A couple here. One there. Just making a nice little semi-organic looking pile of living rock. Okay, now I tried to tweak some settings in OBS to fix that weird stutter, but it does not seem to have worked. I'll keep working with it. This machine should have enough processing power both on the CPU and the GPU to really push through anything of that sort. So something is causing a severe drag, and it might be the hard drive, actually. But I'm not entirely certain. I'll need to do more testing. But today, we're going to do some exploring. It's going to take a little bit to get the materials necessary for the Pneumaticraft drone stuff. So in the meantime, we're going to do something else. We are going to go looking for meteors. So we just grab this meteorite compass, and it should point us towards the nearest meteor. Which is weird, given the closest meteor is right here. I don't think I've already cracked this one open, so I don't know why it thinks I should be going somewhere else. You're weird, compass. Really weird. Now, I probably should have put more redstone on this pick before trying to do this, because skystone is not particularly easy to mine through. Hey, look, more skystone. And an inscriber engineering press. That's what we're on the hunt for. Those sorts of applied energistics things. Yep, it's still got that stutter, and I think it might actually be worse this time. So it might be that one of the settings that I changed made it worse. Okay, and now it's just spinning. So apparently, there is a meteorite right here. I don't see one, so is it underground? Or is it just confused? I don't know, because I did find another meteorite. Let's see if it works better with that one. So, yeah. If I want to continue on with the pneumaticraft stuff, it's going to require some more Galgadorian metal, which is always a pain. Because the advanced PCBs take 5 regular PCBs and 4 basic capacitors, and those capacitors, of course, take Galgadorian metal. Eventually, I'll have the pneumaticraft setup that will be able to make... Oh, geez. This is a big one. So I'll eventually have the pneumaticraft setup that'll make it able to... 1, 2, 3, 4. Make me able to get the blocks of Galgador in one go. It should save on materials and potentially time. But in the meantime, I'm going to need to do it the old-fashioned way with the magic wood and the ender-infused obsidian, I think. But for 4 of those advanced PCBs, I need, let's see, 20 regular PCBs and 16 of those capacitors. So that's quite a lot of shenanigans going into that. And that's also not including the other quest that I need to complete to do it, which is the various tools that you need for the actual assembly process. So we need the laser and the I/O unit and the assembly table and the controller, but we already got... Oh, I was apparently off by 1. Inscriber engineering press, inscriber logic press, inscriber calculation press. Way to go, giant meteorite. You had lots of stuff in you. Good job. So yes, I'm fairly confident that the tweaks that I did to OPS actually made things worse, which, if you're familiar with any sort of troubleshooting, means we've found a potential issue. We've actually discovered something that is probably causing it. However, my lack of understanding of it led to causing it to be worse instead of better. So all I have to really do is just reverse what I did in the settings, and then it should make it better. Now, I don't necessarily have time to do it this episode. That's probably pointing towards the one we already found. So yeah, I don't necessarily have time to do it this episode, but between episodes I will fix it, and after that we should have gloriously smooth video from then on out. At least in theory. We'll see how well that goes in practice. Because, well, good friend Yogi Berra said... That's not what he said. He said, in theory and practice are the same. In practice, they are not. Okay, anybody else in here? Just the one? Now, we could theoretically mine this up and get some of the materials, but it's not what I'm here for. I'm here for these guys. Okay, Compass, what's your deal? That... I'm used to compasses that actually know what they're pointing at. Okay, let's go down here. Maybe? It's hard to tell. So, here's hoping the sun doesn't go down while I'm doing this. Because having this jerky lag type stuff while trying to sidestep enemies will not be pleasant. And I've only got 5 levels because I was over at the Blaze Farm. I got tons of experience, made tons of, well, not tons of books. I made a handful of enchanted books. And none of them were fortune. I got a couple that were looting. I got a protection 4. Okay, and Inscriber Engineering Press. Unfortunate. We already had that one. We're still missing one, I believe. Let's check the book. Show me the quests. I believe it's in the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, still missing the silicon press. It's no good without the ability to make those chips. I mean, it's like going to England and having nothing but fish. Can't only have fish. And I still haven't made a waypoint at home. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's go back home, set up a waypoint, and then we might set out again. Because we've only been doing this for 12 minutes. I've talked about some of the things that are going on. The other major development is that I kind of want to go thoroughly against Vasky's wishes and figure out good units for measuring Botania output. I actually want to figure out essentially a set of good units. So like millipools per second. Because I've come up with a couple of interesting botanic contraptions, but whenever you talk about machines in, say, thermal expansion, you always talk about the RF per tick. You have some way of knowing how to match your output devices with your input devices. So you can figure out, well, to make this thing work, I need a stack of cobblestone every minute. It's a nice little metric to have. With Botania, it's very hard to tell if what you have is going to be enough. Like my one trip to the Blaze Farm managed to mostly fill this guy up, but it's still not enough. And I don't know how long I would need to stay there to actually fill that up. And I would like to know that sort of thing. I also designed a surprisingly effective mana supplier, but I wanted to test it against my ore generator. Well, there are no good units to be able to say, well, how big do I need to make this generator to be able to effectively use my ore factory sort of design? There are no units. You just hook it up and pray. Well, I want more precision than that in my design process. More precision. So, yeah. I'm probably going to do a little bit of work in that. Let's go this way this time. So far I've got a few ideas, but they're not complete. think we might want to... Nah, not with this lag. Well, it's not really lag. Not with the jerk. The occasional just frame destruction. That's no good. Facing this way? Okay. I'll trust you this time, compass. But yeah, I did a little bit of work with figuring out metrics for how to get to a stable set of units. And apparently I am right on top of it. Congratulations, compass. You are dumb. Or it's underground. One or the other. It's entirely possible it's underground. I'm going to head a bit further out because I think it might have to do with loaded chunks and changing versions. So I think in the new version, if I then loaded that chunk, it would have had a meteor in it. But since I'm in a new version and that chunk had been loaded already, it's not there. Like when you saw with that one meteor that the side of the crater went straight up. Yeah, fairly certain that's a remnant of that problem. So, like I was saying, I've made a little bit of progress in measuring the units, but I want it standardized before I reveal it. I want to make sure it actually does what it needs to do. And I basically discovered that the tier 1 design of my mana factory is not quite enough to power my Orchid ore factory design at full power. Ooh, that's a nice looking fisher. Neat. Might hop into one of those one day, but that day is not today. I've said that already this episode about something else, but so it goes. Okay, so there should be one like right here. Again, should be right here. I'm fairly certain I haven't loaded these chunks before. And if we look at the minimap, there is nothing of the sort. So I don't know if it's insane, I'm insane, if we've just loaded these chunks and it's a problem. But I get the feeling I'm going to have to do a different method of exploring to track these things down. But before you go, hey! Hey! Water! Yes, I saw. I'm going to do something about it. I've made myself a lot of water for when I was AFK at the Blaze Farm while I was doing my homework. It's not a big deal. But yeah, ooh. We appear to have another derelict bunker. Those things are full of awesome stuff and death and destruction. This one appears to be different. Let's get that obsidian out of the way before something spawns on us. Because I'm fairly certain there's a spawner up there. Why, hello! I don't know what's in you, but I don't like you. So, this appears to be the same design as my bunker. And it appears to have an elevator going down. I'm not going to tackle it. Whoa, hello. He's got vengeance! And, whoa. Whoa, silverfish. Run. Jeez. Okay. So, I'm gonna leave a waypoint on this place. Because that was awesome. And then I'll come back some other time. Because this might be full of awesome loot. But for now, I will show you the arrows in my back. Or front. Apparently they're not attached to my body. And I will see you in the next episode of Blast Off with Light.